Dear children, in the last two units, we learned about real education in Unit 1, that education which makes us self-sufficient to face life. Bookish knowledge we gather by learning by heart, or those marks learned in the exams by copying others will never help in real life. We learn to deserve first and then desire. Importance of work in Unit 2, which taught us to be resourceful and do some work that would help the society in which we live. In the grammar part, we also learned determiners, tense system, idioms and phrases. Unit 3 will teach us about something much bigger, that is universal brotherhood. The term refers to the teaching that all human beings are brothers and sisters, whose parent is God. It does not merely include those who share the same religion, ethnicity or language. I will read out a passage which illustrates events from lives of people who have traveled across the world. The passage speaks about the experiences of Gandhiji while he was a barrister at South Africa. Gandhiji was traveling from Durban to Maritzburg in South Africa. He had a first class ticket. He sat in the train. After some time, a passenger came and asked him to go to the other compartment. Gandhiji showed his first class ticket and refused to leave the compartment. After some time, two policemen came and forcefully pushed him out of the train. His baggage was thrown out too. Gandhiji felt very sad. Why do you think Gandhi was pulled out of the train? Mahatma Gandhi was thrown out of the train at the Pietermaritzburg railway station in South Africa in 1863, while a white man objected to him travelling in the first class coach. There was racial discrimination in South Africa in those times. The white people did not like the dark-skinned people. Gandhiji was dark-skinned. Now, in order to properly understand the lesson, Jamaican fragment, you need to have a brief understanding on the country of Jamaica. Arawaks were the early inhabitants of Jamaica. Arawaks were agriculturists who made good quality textiles and pottery. Christopher Columbus landed on 14 May 1494 on his second American voyage of exploration. Thus began the Spanish invasion. Most of the original inhabitants were killed or sent to Spain as slaves. They were replaced by the Africans. In 1645, British captured Jamaica and the island became a center of slave trades in the West Indies. Jamaica became independent in 1962. Jamaica's landscape is mostly mountainous. A limestone plateau covers two-thirds of the island. It has narrow coastal plains, green dense rainforest and sandy bays and beaches. Highest point is Blue Mountain Peak in the Blue Mountain National Park in the east of the island. The island has a population of 2.75 million people. Capital and largest city is Kingston. Other major cities are Spanish Town and Montego Bay, St. Andrew and Portmore. Official language is Jamaican English. Mainly spoken is an English-based Creole language with West African influences. About the author. A.L. Hendricks was born in 1922 in Kingston, Jamaica, to a Jamaican father and a French mother. Hendricks was educated at Jamaica College and briefly at Ottershaw College in Surrey, England. After joining the family business for a few years, he entered broadcasting in 1950. He became Director of Caribbean Broadcasting in Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago Television. In 1961, he was General Manager of the Jamaican Broadcasting Corporation, after which he became the television director in London. In the late 1960s, he moved to Bermuda, where he was resident director of Thomson Television. After this, he settled in England. He became a freelance writer in 1971. He wrote both poems and short stories and traveled widely throughout the Caribbean. The BBC's Caribbean Voices program featured his work several times. The story Jamaican Fragment brings out the prejudice that almost every person suffers when it comes to issues like caste, color and class. Every day I walk half a mile from my home to the rail track lines in the morning and from the lines to my home in the evening. The walk is pleasant. That is, Mr. Hendricks walks a mile every day. Half a mile from home to rail track in the morning and half a mile in the evening while returning from work. You can see on either side red and green roofed bungalows, green lawns and gardens. The exercise is good for me, and now and then I learn something from a little incident. Means he likes walking not only because he could enjoy the sights of bungalows, lawns and gardens on either sides of the path, but also he could gain some new experiences every day. One morning, about halfway between my front gate and the rail track, I noticed two boys playing in the garden of the more modest cottages. They were both very little boys. One was 4 years old perhaps, the other 5. Means one day on his way to the rail track, he is almost halfway. He noticed two little boys playing in the garden of a modest. Modest means humble or not so grand garden. One was about 4 years and the other one might be around 5. The bigger of the two was a sturdy youngster, very dark, with a mat of coarse hair on his head and coal black eyes. He was definitely a little Jamaican, a strong little Jamaican. The other fellow was smaller but also sturdy. He was white with hazel eyes and light brown hair. Means the bigger one was sturdy. Sturdy means strong and solid. Black in color with black spring like hair and black eyes. The smaller one was also strong and solid. White in color with hazel colored eyes. Hazel color means the color of hazelnut and light brown hair. Name of the color comes from hazelnut. Both were dressed in blue shirts and khaki pants. They wore no shoes and their feet were muddy. They were not conscious of my standing there, watching them. They played on. Means both of them had blue shirts and light brown pants. They were playing barefooted without wearing shoes, and so their feet were muddy. Muddy means dirty. Both of them did not know that Mr. Hendricks was watching the game. The game, if it could be called a game, was not elaborate. The little white boy walked majestically up and down, and everyone and then shouted in a commanding tone at his bigger playmate. The little boy dragged quietly behind him and did what he was told. Pick up that stick, the dark boy picked up. Jump into the flowers, the dark boy jumped. Get me some water, the dark boy ran inside. The white boy sat down on the lawn. Means the game was simple. The white boy was walking up and down royally like a king and giving orders to the bigger black boy. The black boy was obeying his commands. The white boy would order the black boy to pick up the stick and the black boy would pick up the sticks. Next, he would order to jump into the flowers or bring him some water. The black boy obeyed happily. I was amazed. Here, before my eyes, a white baby, for they were little more than babies, was imposing his will upon a little black boy, and the little black boy was submitted. Means Mr. Hendricks was surprised to see how the little white boy was making the little black boy do the jobs that he ordered. I puzzled within myself as I went down the road. Could it be that the little boy is son of a house servant? I asked myself. Means Hendricks was asking himself the question that whether the little black boy was the son of a house servant. No, they were obviously dressed alike. The little dark boy was neighbor's child. I was sure of that. Then, how was it that he obeyed so faithfully the white boy's orders? Means, since the boys wore the same type of clothes, he deducted that the black boy could not be a servant's son. They might be neighbors then, thought Mr. Hendrick. Then how was it that he obeyed so faithfully the white boy's order? But Mr. Hendrick was still wondering why the black boy was obeying the white boy. Was it that even as a boy he sensed that in his own country he would be at the white man's beck and call? Means, did the boy think that he should be a servant to the white man even at his own country? Could he make a difference between himself and the white boy? Means, could the black boy have thought the differences in the skin color would make one superior to the other? And could he think that he was going to boss over the black man? Means, could the black boy have thought that being white gives the other boy a right to give orders to the black boy? I could find no answer. Hendrick was not able to find the answer. I could not bring myself to believe such a thing. And with my own eyes, I have seen a little dark boy take orders from a little white boy. Obviously, his social equal and younger and smaller. Means, Hendrick was not able to believe what he saw. That a younger white boy ordering a bigger black boy, even though both of them was of equal social status. Were we, as a race, really inferior? So inferior that even in our infancy we realized our deficiencies and accepted a position as a white man's servant? Here he asked himself, did we fall to such a low level that the human beings, even at the childhood, understand and accepted the position of being a servant to another person just because the other person is having a fair skin? For a whole day, I went on asking these questions to myself. For a whole day, my faith in my people was shaken. When I passed by the afternoon, the little boys were not there. That evening, I thought deeply on the subject. Means, Mr. Hendrick returned home, but the thought of the sight, means what he saw, the incident that took place in the garden, followed him in his thoughts for the whole day. With that, we move on to the question and answer session. First question, why was the morning walk pleasant to Mr. A.L. Hendricks? Answer, the beautiful sight of red and green roofed bungalows, green lawns and garden on either side of walking lanes makes him happy. Question number 2, the exercise is good for me, says the narrator. What was the exercise? What was that exercise? Answer, the routine walk from his home to the rail track lines in the morning and back to home in the evening was a good exercise for his mind and body. Question number 3. What did narrator notice on one morning? Answer. One morning the narrator noticed two boys playing in the garden of a cottage. Question number 4. How did the smaller boy behave while playing with bigger boy? Answer. The smaller white boy behaved like a master. He walked royally up and down, commanding the black boy. The past perfect tense. The past perfect is a verb tense used to talk about actions that were completed before some point in the past. The formula for past perfect tense is to add had to past participle form of the verb. Example, I reached the bus station after the bus had left. Here one action, the bus had left, is completed before another action, I reached the bus station. Now, keeping this in mind, we'll try the below exercise. First one, the doctor arrived after the patient had died. Second one, when the guest came to the school, the program had already begun. Third, after he had walked 5 kilometers, he complained of a sore foot. Fourth, my friend came to meet me yesterday, but I had been to Shivamogga, so we could not meet. Fifth, when the officials came out of the office, the train had not stopped yet. Now we will move on to the assignment session. Fill in the blanks with words in the similar pronunciation. Assignment number 2. Form opposites by adding prefixes. So dear children, that's all for now. We will catch up with the remaining part on the next week. Have a great week ahead. Thank you.